Welcome back to the Cord Cutting Today show, where I break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting and give you my opinion on them. Stories like today, Comcast lost over 490,000 TV customers in just 3 months. YouTube TV is expected to lose over $1 billion on NFL Sunday Ticket. That also includes regular YouTube. And Disney, Paramount, and more shut down a massive pirate sports streaming site as the war on IPTV continues to heat up. We're going to be breaking down all this and a whole lot more here in a quick minute because it's been a busy news day. We have a lot to cover. First though, hey, if you want to learn more about these stories, I'll put a link to each one down in the show notes and in the first pinned comment so you can read about these stories for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I would love to hear from you. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here so YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow and hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of TV to still watch the shows you enjoy. All right, let's dive into it. So Comcast reported some rough numbers, though there's some bright spots here for them we'll talk about. Comcast lost over 490,000 TV customers and lost 18,000 internet customers in just 3 months as cord cutting continues to speed up. Now, we've all said this for a while that, hey, well, people just get internet. Well, people aren't just getting internet from Comcast when they cancel. Increasingly, cord cutting 2.0 is moving in that direction. And for now, Comcast is saying kind of the exact same thing that they said back when cord cutting was in. Well, yeah, we lost a little bit of TV customers, not a lot, just a little, but we're making more money because we're having more expensive packages, we're doing this, we're doing that to get more money. And that's what they're saying about internet. Well, yeah, we lost 18,000 broadband customers, second quarter in a row we've lost internet customers, but don't worry about it, we actually made more money. They saw a 3.8% jump in domestic broadband revenue to $6.4 billion in the third quarter. How long? This is the same argument we hear over and over and over again about TV in the early days. Oh, we'll just make more money. Yeah, a few people in the mom's basement are switching over. More people are switching away from cable to like 5G home internet and more. We'll keep a close eye on this. But a little bit lower overall TV numbers dropping in this quarter versus last quarter. Typically, the third quarter is one of the best quarters for cable TV, NFL, NBA, all that's right around the corner, college football, and that helps keep their numbers up. But they're still seeing strong loss of subscribers, even if it was slightly down from earlier numbers. Overall, we're still on track to see the growth of cord cutting blossom in 2023. All right, let's keep moving on. Morgan Stanley's come out with a report looking at YouTube and YouTube TV's NFL Sunday Ticket, and they say they expect them to lose $1.2 billion on NFL Sunday Ticket. Now, according to reports with this, they are seeing strong growth on subscribers, actually having more subscribers than, and NFL has said this too, than what DirecTV did. But they still, according to Morgan Stanley, expect them to lose $1.2 billion this year on NFL Sunday Ticket. Now, that's actually better than what DirecTV estimated. They came out last week and said, hey, we thought we would lose $1.5 billion on DirecTV's NFL Sunday Ticket this year. That's part of the reason we didn't fight hard to renew it. Okay, we'll see. Again, these are all projected numbers, but it is kind of consistent out there that their report of about 1.3 million subscribers is probably the ballpark out there. That's been a pretty consistent number out there, and probably more people signing up. Will we see a price drop as the NFL season is almost half over? We'll see. We haven't heard anything about it yet, but it's very possible. So I want to hear from you. Did you sign up for NFL Sunday Ticket? I'm a big football fan, but honestly, more a college football fan. Red Zone is fine for me. That's all I need. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think. All right, Disney, Paramount, Warner Brothers, and more shut down one of the largest IPTV sports streaming services in the world. It was run out of India, but it's most of its 253 million visitors. That's a lot of traffic. There are major sites in the United States that would kill for that. There's major streaming services in the United States that don't have anywhere near that subscriber count. But according to the United States, or most of the traffic came from the United States, United Kingdom, India, and Canada, even though it was run out of India. ACE, which is the Alliance for Creativity and Entertainment, which represents a ton of main media companies, was a big part of this. They worked with DAZN to track down this service and shut it down. I've said this before. There's a growing war on IPTV services as a growing number of them get shut down by major studios who are saying, hey, we're losing money in streaming. If we can stop some of the pirate, maybe, if not all, but maybe we can make it difficult enough that some people will move over. We'll see how that all plays out. But keep a close eye on this. Major studios are spending big money to track down piracy services and shut them down, more so than I've ever seen in the history of the war on piracy. All right, next up, is the death of Bally Sports near? Broadcasters sure hope so. Yesterday, Tinga, one of the largest owners of ABC, CBS, and more stations around the United States, launched a new website to promote their efforts to offer sports locally. And in it, they say they are working closely with partners across the country to reshape the future of sports distribution to make every game available to every fan in every household. Okay, interesting. We're seeing a growing trend of broadcasters, Scripps, Nexstar, Tinga, Great Television, and more getting into this. Great Television even released a presentation to investors recently where they pointed out that they believe that with the death of RSNs, that many of these games will end up on broadcasters, and that they hope that means they'll be able to charge cable TV companies more money. There's still quite a few NBA, NHL, and MLB teams that broadcast their games on Bally Sports, the future of which is very much in doubt. Major League Baseball has come out and said they expect Bally Sports to drop at least one other team, maybe as soon as the end of this season this year, at the end of the World Series and all that stuff. I know the regular season's over. We're in the playoffs for MLB right now. But we're seeing a growing number of broadcasters lining up, trying to get right. Scripps has said they already have several tentative deals that if Bally Sports goes under, they'll just switch those games over to Scripps' own networks. Tenga's working on that. Gary Sports already has a couple deals and more. We'll see how this all plays out. All right, the war on robocalls has been kind of tough. Now, robocalls are increasingly targeting streamers. There's a lot of scams out there targeting streamers. Be very, very careful. Whether it be an email from a streaming service or a phone call, a number of these are becoming fake. Well, one of the big problems here is even though they may try to cut them off, the FCC may find them, they lack a lot of ability to enforce those fines, enforce those penalties. Now senators want to give them the penalty to basically give them some teeth when it comes to cracking down on robocalls. I hope they can find a good way to do that, because I really do hope they can find a way to crack down on robocalls. All right, the holiday buying season's here. Black Friday is like a month away. It's hard to believe. But Amazon wants you to help them with their shipping problem. As people buy more, Amazon shipping services struggle to meet the same timelines that they like to get it there quickly. And now they're willing to give you, if you use an Amazon credit card, 6% back on your order on select items if you agree to wait. If you agree to do it on your Amazon shipping day, which will be a little bit slower than buying it or shipping it through a traditional Prime Day shipping option. Now, this 6% is optional. You can still, and it defaults to the standard Prime delivery option, but you only get 5% back on the Amazon credit card that way. If you're willing to switch over, you can get a 6% on many items. In our story, we have terms and conditions that list what items are excluded from that offer. But keep that in mind. If you don't need if you're buying a gift that's not needed for a couple weeks, waiting an extra 2 days for it can get you an extra 6% versus 5% back. All right. Amazon's Thursday Night Football, according to Comcast, accounts for 25% of all their internet traffic on Thursday nights. Now, Comcast brought this up as a way to kind of bash 5G internet services, saying, hey, they're not going to be able to keep up. Well, 5G internet services are adding hundreds of thousands of new customers, and so far has kept up pretty well for most customers. But Comcast says they expect the growth of internet traffic to skyrocket. Amazon's Thursday Night NFL Football has made, they said, Thursday nights the most peak usage time for internet services, as millions of people are watching the game. According to Amazon's Thursday Night Football, 12.91 million viewers, a 25% jump over their last year numbers, are average watching the games. And that's a big jump over ABC, which is in second place for linear television. Their Golden Bachelor that had just 4.09 million viewers. It's still really good numbers, but significantly lower than what Amazon's Thursday Night Football had. So keep that in mind. All right, speaking of Comcast, they are adding 4 million, or they added, I should say, 4 million Peacock subscribers, but lost $565 million in the third quarter of 2023. They do say, though, that overall losses of 2023 with Peacock will be lower than they first expected, which was $3 billion they thought they would lose this year. Now they're just thinking about, high 2-point-something billion they'll lose on Peacock. But Peacock is adding subscribers, again, on sports streaming. They have a lot of sports happening right now, including a new contract with the Big Ten. And lastly, last week we reported a story out there, I believe it was from Bloomberg, Reuters. Reuters had reported that T-Mobile was in negotiations to buy Frontier, the cable TV company that still offers cable TV, just not to new customers, and internet service. Now, with that, T-Mobile came out yesterday during their earnings call and said, or I should say 2 days ago, said not so fast. No, we are not in talks to buy it. Is that a truthful denial? Or is that a pretty standard denial we always see before they get an announcement that really happens? It's always hard to tell. Some companies are pretty straightforward, and T-Mobile seems to be one of those. So maybe they really are out of the running for that. We'll see what happens, but they're denying those reports that came out last week. All right, let's jump into the question of the day. Now, if you have a question for me, leave me a comment on this video. This is something like question for Luke, and then the question. That way I know it's for me. And I'll pick up 1 or 2 questions to answer at the end of these videos, depending on how much time I have. But today's question comes out, Luke, do you see streaming services like YouTube TV becoming expensive as traditional cable with increased cost of content providers by local channels? No, not as expensive of cable TV. And I honestly think that, well, yes, the cost will go up. I don't think it's going to go up as much as people fear. I actually think what we may see, though, is less content available on these services and on cable TV. The reason I say this is a few things. Yeah, locals are trying to push for more money, but they're not just pushing more money on streaming, they're pushing for more money on cable TV. Just like I talked about earlier, Gary Television released a presentation to investors that didn't talk about streaming. They said they want to get more money from cable TV by offering local sports. Increasingly, though, I think Spectrum's deal is probably going to be what we see on other places. Renewal of contracts that may see, for example, some of those smaller channels. Disney XD, Disney Junior were dropped from Spectrum. Kind of shocked on Disney Junior a little bit, but I guess not that many kids are watching that. They're watching Disney Plus now. We're seeing other places where we're seeing cutbacks. There's a lot of reports that talk about what about the future of MTV2 and those other small channels. Would not surprise me at all in the future if we see some deals done to keep main channels on YouTube TV that may result in some of those smaller channels being dropped, those bundled channels, those often like Disney's done in the past. Hey, you want ESPN? Well, you gotta get Freeform, you gotta get Disney, and all the Disney Junior channels and more with it. And that's where I think things will change. So instead of skyrocketing prices, you may unfortunately see some of your channel numbers fall, but on the flip side, you won't be paying as much. That's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday with another video. Take care, everybody.